This all goes back about 15 years when the United States first started complaining about what it said were illegal subsidies provided by the Europeans to Airbus, the aerospace giant based here in Toulouse, France. Eventually, after a long process, the WTO did agree that there were illegal subsidies that were negatively affecting Boeing, the arch rival in the United States. And what's happened today is that a WTO panel of 3 arbitrators has decided the amount of damage that the United States is to be allowed to inflict on the Europeans in retaliation for the harm caused. It's widely expected that Washington will now use this $7.5 billion cudgel that it's got, and the impact on consumers will slightly depend what sectors they go after. They've produced a long list of sectors that are on the list to be targeted. They include things you might expect, like aircraft and aircraft parts, but it goes all the way down to things like handbags, wine, and cheese, which would obviously affect purchasers of those kind of products. But at the end of the day, the bigger impact could be felt if and when the Europeans choose to retaliate, and they have an opportunity to do so perhaps as early as next year. Basically, the Europeans are saying, we'll go there if you go there. The Europeans say they have always been open to talks to try and avoid this outcome. And you've got Airbus itself pointing out that if we go down this tit-for-tat tariff route, it has unpredictable and unpleasant outcomes for everybody, potentially. In response to the WTO panel decision today, Airbus said, look, we're a global company. If you put tariffs on us, for instance, that affects workers in America because we buy our stuff from there too. We buy parts from there. So the Europeans say they're trying to avoid this outcome, but there is an expectation that the US will impose tariffs, at which point the Europeans say they will retaliate.